The SEGA Dreamcast, a console ahead of its time, but after 25 years, those GDROM drives and old power supplies are starting to show their age. Today, we're bringing this classic back to life with two of the best modern upgrades you can do, the GDEmu and the DreamPSU. In this full mod build, I'll show you how to install both, explain how they work, and put them to the test to see just how much better your Dreamcast can really get. Let's dive in and future-proof the Dreamcast. So taking the Dreamcast apart is a pretty easy process. You simply just want to go ahead and flip it over. And you have 1, 2, 3, and you want to pop the, let's see if I can do it here, the modem off. I'll put this to the side here. And then you'll have your fourth screw to take off. Now, I already took the screws off because I was previously modding this before. So I went ahead and didn't put them back on. So I'm gonna just go ahead. Once you get the screws off, we'll pop the case open. And there we go. Here, we'll put this to the side here. All right. Now that we have the Dreamcast pretty much taken apart, let's go ahead. And I'm going to start with the GD-ROM. So there's just basically 3 screws you want to remove from the GD-ROM. So let me go ahead and start doing that because I haven't done that yet. The most hard one, which I had to put this up to see, is going to be the one right here on the back. It's a little bit hard to reach out, but let me see if I can get it in the camera so you can see. So that's the one here. That's going to be the hardest to reach back here. So go ahead, get that one out. There's just 3 of them. And then the other one is over here. Let's see if I get that on the frame. Right here. So we go ahead and remove that one. Let me just make sure I got this one off. Yes, it is. Okay. And the last one you want to remove is over here, which is one of the easiest one. I always leave the easier one to last because it's easier. I already removed the one back here. So once you do that, you just want to go ahead and lift the GD-ROM up and it should come off. Here's the other screw for the other one. And then we just put it to the side here. And I'll put the screws there. Now with the GD-ROM off, let's go ahead and remove the PSU off the Dreamcast. The PSU should be very simple as well. You simply just want to unplug it from here. And I believe, yep, there's only 2 screws you need to worry about. So we're going to remove the screw from here. Excuse me. They're pretty tight on. Wow. There we go. Wow, that one was pretty tight. So be a little careful when you're removing these screws. And the next one you want to remove is going to be this one here. Wow, yeah. I have not touched these screws, so I don't know if anybody else did before me on this Dreamcast, but it feels like it's the factory. Meaning it was pretty tight from factory, so be a little careful when you're removing it. Now you're gonna pull and be very careful doing this. One, if you recently had this connected, you don't want to shock yourself. Another thing you want to do is be very careful because if it's still working, you want to put this away. Obviously, you don't want to just both my parts are still working brand new. Like I could just put all this back on and it works as stock. So if that's the case for you, be very careful when you're doing this. But basically, because you have the connector here, you want to just go ahead and lift it up from here and go like this, like that. And did I miss a screw? No, it should come off. Why does it feel like... There we go. So basically just lift it up like this and it'll come off. Now that we have all the components removed, let's talk about what the DreamPSU is. So, what is the DreamPSU? The DreamPSU is a modern replacement for the Dreamcast internal power supply. It uses a small DC to DC converter board that provides clean, efficient power to the motherboard. So how does it work? Instead of the Dreamcast hot internal AC PSU, DreamPSU uses an external 12-volt adapter like a laptop power supply. So how does it do the voltage conversion? Inside, DreamPSU converts 12 volts down to 3 voltages the Dreamcast needs. 3.3 voltage logic circuits and CPU, 5 volts controller ports and drivers, and 12 volts for the GD-ROM motor, often unused with GDEmu. Does the DreamPSU run efficiently and cooler? Well, it generates less heat, improves stability, and helps the Dreamcast run cooler, especially useful when combined with GDEmu since the GD-ROM motor isn't drawing power. So let's talk about all the benefits. Reduces internal heat, makes the console lighter, extends the lifespan of the console. This is ideal for regions with unstable power, and no fan noise from the PSU section. So basically now, we're gonna go ahead and add the DreamPSU to the Dreamcast. It's a really easy, simple mod. It's not so hard, and no soldering required for this mod at least, as it stands when you buy or purchase it. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I wanna do is go ahead and just line this up. See if I get them in the pins here, the holes. Be a little careful when you're doing all this, of course, and if it doesn't feel right, don't force it. Because it does fit. Once you get it in, yeah, you gotta just push it down. There we go. Now, if you're wondering, oh my God, did I overdo it or if I'm doing it right? Well, you should align it with the hole here. So once you get it properly in there, your cable should reach out like this, which is fine. Cable might seem like it goes out, but we'll fix that soon. But you should be able to screw in one of the screws back in here. So let's go ahead and do that. That way it holds it in place. Make sure we get that screw in properly. The screw is what's gonna help align it more too once you get the screw in. So to get it in properly, should be good. Okay. With the screw there, I'm gonna go ahead and get the little 3D bracket that was printed for it. This is what's gonna align it. So we put it here. So we're gonna get the barrel. We're gonna put it in like this through the hole. And on this side, you're gonna go ahead and just put this in like this for the barrel. And just go ahead and screw it down until it's tight and it won't come off. This way, it's not gonna come off on you when you push the barrels in and out. And then what we're gonna simply do is just go push it down like this. And that's it. That's a simple mod. That's just the DreamPSU right there. Very simple, nothing hard. Oh, and don't forget to plug it in here, obviously. Careful where you're running the wire too. Make sure you plug it in right. There we go. That's done. And that's done. Careful with the wire so don't mess it up. Now, let's talk about what the GDEmu is. So what is the GDEmu? The GDEmu is an SD card-based optical drive emulator, ODE, that replaces the original GD-ROM drive in the Dreamcast. It plugs directly into the GD-ROM drive connector on the motherboard. No soldering required for compatible models. So how does the GDEmu work? The GDEmu emulation mimics the signal of the original GD-ROM drive, so the Dreamcast believes it's still talking to a normal disk drive. So now let's talk about the data from the SD card. Games are stored on the SD card as GDI, CDI, or bin files. When you power on the console, GDEmu loads the selected game image and streams it to the Dreamcast exactly as the laser would. Does the GDEmu have a menu to load the games? Well, some users install a menu loader like GDEmu menu to easily select games. Without a menu, you can cycle games using the GDEmu's onboard button. So, what are all the advantages? Instant loading, no disk noise, less wear on the console, region-free loading, and faster access time. So a key technical detail to know, the Dreamcast GD-ROM interface uses the ATA-like signaling, and the GDEmu's FPGA interprets these commands and reads data from the SD storage, translating it into the same protocol the console expects. The GDEmu is not so hard to do. It's just depending on what 3D printed tray you got. I ended up 3D printing my own tray because the other one that I had bought before, because I had bought one previously, but it wasn't correctly. And then I bought a 3D printer obviously now, so I can 3D print my own stuff. So with the other one, it didn't have the holes that I needed to go ahead and 3D print a bracket to add in the bottom. This one is more stable, more better. So I'm gonna go ahead and just install the one I 3D printed for now. It works better anyway, so let me go ahead and do that. All right, so now let's go ahead and start doing the GDEmu. First thing I wanna do, here, let me get the Dreamcast out of the way. First thing you wanna do is make sure you get this button here like this placed in, because this is what's gonna be your GDEmu button to click on and off here. But the other thing we wanna do is go ahead and put the SD card extender on, so that this way we can go ahead and just load up the SD card here, and I have to have it on the GDEmu itself there. So let me go ahead and do that and put this over here for now. All right, that was a little bit more of a problem than I thought it would have been, but basically what happened was you have to get the left side screwed in first in order for it to line up with the right one here, which was kind of weird because I was putting the right one in first, but basically that's what you want to do. Once you get this done, now we can go ahead and go back to the Dreamcast. So let me bring the Dreamcast over. Let's just put this here. Okay, so basically I'm gonna use this one I reprinted in white. The other one I printed didn't fit correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw this one in here. Like this. You put the 4 screws here, well, 2 there and 2 there. And then you place it down and then we'll screw it there. So let me go ahead and just do that. Because what had happened was the one that I originally printed out didn't fit correctly. And this one looks like it's print. I had to reprint the other one, but I'm gonna just go ahead and place it with this one. This one should work fine too. Yeah, okay, so let me go ahead and do that. So you wanna get this here. Let me add the screw. So you want, okay, so basically you want to have this screw and then screw another one here. So let's go do that. All right, so basically, let me just show you what I did quickly. 2 of the screws that go here and then 2 over here. Now this preps everything here. See, this doesn't move. This doesn't move. I have my long screw here. So basically what's going to happen is once you go ahead and let me just make sure that ribbon cable is hidden up. Because what's gonna happen is once you place it down, the connector itself is gonna hold it down for you, so then you can add the rest of the screws you need. So you're only gonna need 1 long screw for this one to I thought it was 2, but it's just 1. And then we're gonna go ahead and use it here. Let's screw this baby down. Bingo. And this is just to hold it down. And I'm gonna go ahead and use one of the original Dreamcast screws. Just put it here. From the GD-ROM. The one that goes there, and that's it. And that's it. There you have it. What a mess. Took me a little bit to figure out the 3D print part. There you have it. This is how it's supposed to look like once it's ready. You see how I'm able to click? I'm able to put my SD card. So basically now we can go ahead and start running some tests to make sure that everything's fine. Once I put the cover back on. But this is what it's supposed to look like. Pretty much like this. It's pretty awesome. With everything set up, now I want to go ahead and do a comparison with the GDEmu versus the GD-ROM and see if there's any difference in speed and loading. And there it is, the Dreamcast reborn, with the GDEmu handling all the games straight from the SD and the DreamPSU keeping things cool and efficient. This setup breathes new life into a true classic. No more disk noise, no more overheating, just pure Dreamcast magic, ready for another generation of gaming. If you enjoyed this build, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more retro console mods and restoration projects. Thanks for watching and keep those classics alive.